Hello everyone, it's Ethan from the Orlando Tours. Today we're here at SeaWorld Orlando. They're currently starting their pass member previews for Expedition Odyssey. So we've just entered the park. Today is the second day of Platinum Pass previews, and all the other pass members can preview up until the next week, and then the attraction officially opens on May 9th. But yesterday they had to cancel their previews. There was a whole issue that happened. But today the ride is running, so we're heading over there, and it looks like pass holder previews are going on until park close. So we're here, it's about like 1:40 right now, and we're gonna head over. It's also the last week of 7 Seas, so we're gonna use some of our last samples here and get some more food items. So let's head around. It looks like this week they're also celebrating Cinco de Mayo. It's pretty cool that they're doing that, and I guess it's going all through into, I guess, the 5th. So starting today or yesterday, and then it's going for a few more days. To get to the new attraction, you gotta go all through the bridge, or you can go by pipeline, or you can even go from Mako over there. But we're gonna head over to the former Wild Arctic area by Icebreaker, and that's how you get to the new simulator, the Expedition Odyssey. So last year, SeaWorld opened Penguin Trek, which is their newest ride. It was a roller coaster, really amazing. They still have their family coaster. I love how they're adding family additions to the park, so everyone has something to do here at the park. But this year, 2025, their new addition is a simulator. And basically they've taken the Wild Arctic plot where they've had sitting for years, because it shut down like before COVID, and that building's been empty. So they're taking that building, putting a new simulator there to, put new life into that building. And now we have a new ride here with air conditioning. You can do something when it rains here at the park. So I think it's a great addition to have it. But we're gonna see how the attraction is. We're on our way over there, and I'm excited to ride it. Like I said, we'll be getting some 7 Seas food samples later. We've been getting a bunch of samples every week, but we're heading over here, and we're about to hop on the attraction. And they have their Cinco de Mayo festival happening right in this courtyard as well. Hopefully our video does not get copyrighted today, because there is a DJ. If there's any copyrighted audio, we will mute those portions in our video. We have the main entrance to Expedition Odyssey right here. They had the lettering here the last couple days, but they're actually reinstalling it due to, certain situation of it not being installed correctly. But as you can see, we have our pass holder preview times. They've also redone the whole bar area over here. So we have some new menu by the bar, and they've slightly redone the area. I love how the bar area has this Coke Freestyle machine with a whole new design over here. And they've also redone this area. You got more seating. The bar area itself looks about the same. I don't usually eat at the bar. Over here we have lockers for the ride, and you can just access this whole area. It's not blocked off, so we can enter and then enter the ride line itself. So they have prices here for the lockers. Let's see. It says $4, and you can also do the multi-use. It's $12, which they have on the sign. Some still walkers for Cinco de Mayo coming out. We're gonna hop into the ride. And I like this entrance here. So they're gonna have a separate queue for the actual Arctic exhibit, and then you have the quick queue and the standby for the actual ride itself. We're about to head into the line now for the ride. There's no wait during Platinum Pass previews. So if you're a pass member, it's just one of the benefits to getting on here, but they do require you to put your belongings in a locker when you're here. So you can't bring any bags or whatever, so you need to buy a locker. Really wish they had free lockers at SeaWorld. Let's head in now. Love the lighting in here. As you can see, the ride is 48-inch height requirement to ride alone, or 39 with an adult. And then the ride is still in technical rehearsal, so they're still working out the kinks and, you know, adjusting the ride stuff. But we'll see how it goes. And we're just waiting to hop in now. So blue and gold expeditions. One of these, the gold is upstairs, the blue is downstairs. It's the same experience though, not like Mission Space where you have one that, you know, doesn't do all the movements of the ride. They're both the same experience. This one's on a second story.
A vital force sustaining life and shaping the land. Each element plays an essential role in this delicate balance. The bitter cold. This is a land where towering icebergs drift through a vast sea. The expanse of tundra stretches for thousands of miles, imposing mountains cutting through a blanket of snow. As night falls, the aurora borealis paints the sky with brilliant color. In this untouched wilderness, we are surrounded by the Arctic's sheer scale and beauty, forever preserved in its pristine state. On this breathtaking expedition into the Arctic, you will meet many fascinating creatures. Marvel at iconic polar bears as they navigate their frozen realm with graceful strength. Swim with mighty whales, their songs echoing through the icy depths. Watch as playful seals dive beneath the water's surface. Each animal plays a crucial role in the harmony of the Arctic ecosystem. Our team of intrepid explorers and researchers studying the tundra ecosystem scouted ahead, designing an exhilarating trek. In this breathtaking adventure, you will experience the untamed and majestic wilds of the Arctic itself.
Prepare to board the Odyssey Mark I, designed to travel seamlessly between air and water. When the doors open in front of you, please make your way to the loading area. Before taking your seat, store all carry-on items in the compartment provided. Loose footwear is not allowed on this experience. Please secure them with your carry-on items for the duration of your flight. Long hair or loose clothing that may extend below the seat must be tied or stowed. Supervising companions must be seated next to the guests they're accompanying. Each companion may accompany up to 2 guests. Only when instructed, fasten your seatbelt from left to right. For smaller passengers that do not reach the blue line on the seat back, place the buckle through the white loop located in the center of the seat. Then, fasten the seatbelt.
At least I don't want to.
When instructed, pull straight up on the red tab to ensure the seatbelt is buckled. Please keep the red tab visible so our operators can confirm the seatbelt is secure. Guests who have a fear of heights or who are prone to motion sickness should speak to an operator to bypass the ride and proceed directly to the Arctic animal habitat. In just a few moments, you'll experience Expedition Odyssey. Once the doors open, please make your way to the loading area.
I'm scared. I'm scared. This is the first time
I do have a cubby here, storage, during the ride.
Okay, sir, you should.
We just got off the attraction, and there's this cool hallway here with the northern lights. And we have these stars on the ceiling. I really like this. This is pretty neat. Yeah, so this room's pretty neat, this hallway. And then you can either enter the exhibit, you have to go through the exhibit, and then you go through the gift shop. And they've remodeled the exhibit. They've made it look all tidy and all that, so pretty cool. If you've been to the Wild Arctic exhibit, I believe this will look mostly the same, but you know, they've just done some TLC, redo the ice wall here, and they've made sure the habitat for the animals is, up to date, and then they have the best weather conditions and stuff. Love the Wild Arctic exhibit though. I think the floors have even been redone in here as well, so it's really nice. Love how we still have the warm weather penguins in this habitat, and yeah, everything looks, the same relatively, or just has some minor upgrades. So pretty cool. They've repolished the floors here as well. Really nice. This is all repainted in this room. Definitely redid the floors here. But this room here, let's see, it looks like the scale is still broken. They used to be able to use the scale and weigh yourself, and it was pretty fun. they haven't fixed it, so I think they should have done that. Hopefully, I mean, the ride's not officially open yet, but hopefully they do fix the scale here. So yeah, all the floors here definitely redone. The rest of Wild Arctic looks primarily the same. Like I said, we'll talk about or review the ride as we get off here. And the gift shop has been all remodeled. They've redone the floor and everything. So we're gonna go check that out now. You can already tell the floors are really shiny over here. But over here, the gift shop, I love the new blue ceiling. They have this like Aurora Borealis type thing. Really cool design. And let's see, I believe they have some Expedition Odyssey merchandise. So right here, you got some dry fit, you got the cups. Really cool attraction merch. They got the little keychains. Really cool. And then we have a bunch of like Arctic animals over here. Love the little rockwork type theming here. We got more Expedition Odyssey stuff over here. Smells really good in this gift shop as well. I like this shirt here. Opening day shirt. Oh yeah. I don't know if they have any pins, but we do have the first to ride pins for free as a pass holder. You get these and you can pick them up at the checkout counter. So we're gonna go get some. As you can see, we picked up our free first to ride pin as a pass holder. So it's like a cool little collectible. I like this. Love the new design of this gift shop on the exterior. They have like cool like Arctic stuff. And I think they had some Aurora Borealis stuff, but I don't know if they took that off and added more windows, but I really like the design. So my review of the ride itself, I thought overall it was pretty decent ride. I give it about a 7.5 maybe out of 10. The visuals are pretty cool. They filmed it in the Arctic. SeaWorld did. They had a team out here filming it specifically for this ride, so it's all original content. SeaWorld actually did not allow us to film on the ride because of course we don't want to take away from your experience. You guys got to come in here in person and ride it yourself. But with that being said, SeaWorld does have B-roll footage from the ride, and it shows how the simulator moves. So we'll put that over in the video as we're talking, so you guys can watch how the ride moves and stuff, and see a couple of like sneak peeks at the visuals. But the ride, it's 2 stories, and it's a mock motion theater. So you load in, there's 15 guests per row. And then there's a second level with another 15 guests, and then it rotates. So there's 30 people watching your screen, and then it rotates. And so capacity-wise, it's pretty good. They have 2 theaters. They're only running 1 theater right now. So theoretically, you can have 60 people experiencing this attraction at once when it's at full capacity. Now, we sat in the lower theater. I don't think it really makes a difference which theater you sit in. We're gonna ride again a few more times. We're gonna see if we can get that second theater. But the ride itself, I noticed that the screens, I don't think they're LED screens they're projected onto. So the projections aren't the clearest. Sometimes it shakes and it takes away from the experience. The panels are also pretty visible, so that takes away from the beautiful imagery that SeaWorld is sharing. But other than that, the visuals aren't the crispest. I feel like they'd be more crisp with an LED screen. But also the transitions, I feel like, can be a little bit better on the media you're watching, because it just takes away, they're kind of rough transitions where it feels like you're going from one scene to the next. I feel like they should have like clouds or like kind of like a keyframe transition. Coming from someone who edits videos, I feel like they can definitely do that. And coming from a creative design standpoint, as someone who wants to design attractions in the future, I feel like the LED screen, yes, it would have been more expensive, but it would look much more crisper, especially with a large screen that big, that close to guests. Now, this ride is very similar to Legoland. They have a Lego movie ride, Lego's Masters of Flight. We actually will be at Legoland tomorrow for a media event, so stay tuned. We have some Legoland videos on our channel if you want to see that. But this ride simulator is 2 stories, where Legoland's is 3, but it moves very similar to that. And I would say there's some more action-packed, but there's also more motion on that ride. This ride's motion is very tame, I would say. So if you think it's going to be an intense experience, I don't think it is that intense. But I will also say that if you have motion sickness, this ride might affect you a little bit. Some of those transitions, some of the movement of the screen itself. But just like how Harry Potter The Forbidden Journey has, they have these little fans above your head, so they do try to mitigate the issues with that as best they can. Overall, I think the ride is pretty solid. We didn't really have any issues on the ride, but like I said, if they over time, invest more into the screen, crisper image quality, a little bit of those transitions, I feel like the ride would be easily a 9 out of 10. And it's already pretty good. Like I said, 7.5 out of 10. But they can easily bump that up to a 9 out of 10 with just a few little upgrades in the future. So I don't know if it really caught a video, but one of the employees in the attraction had a really bad attitude today. And it just kind of threw the vibes off for me a little bit. They were saying I could not film in the ride vehicle room, which you can't film the ride, totally understand that. But I'm trying to show you guys what the actual ride vehicle looks like and what the actual like hubbies look like to keep you guys informed about the experience. And I got confirmation from the other employees that yes, you're allowed to film it. But for whatever reason, the employee was just really getting aggravated for whatever reason. So we're gonna try to get better footage of that for you guys, some photos for the social pages. We're gonna ride again. Let's hop back on. This ride's queue is insane. It can hold a lot of people in here though. We're on the Gold Expedition this time, so that means we're actually about to go upstairs.
Is not allowed.
So, like, why did those signs fall?
It was held together with in one nail, apparently. I got the nail.
Because, like, you know, at like cruise tournaments, they would like put that for like auction or for like a few $100.
Come on in, guys, come on in.
So after a second ride, we got the upstairs. I did forget to mention that there's effects on the ride, like water sprayers and stuff, so you do get, like, you know, little misty effects. I really like that touch of the attraction. We rode on the second level. I actually think I recommend the lower level more than the upper, because the lower level, you don't see the roof. On the upper level, you do see the ceiling. It kind of takes away from the ride a little bit. So if you were to pick, you know, a level to, if you're able to pick a level, try to get the blue one, not the gold one. Overall though, the ride, still pretty good. I still can't tell if the things are projected or if it is an LED screen, but I do know that you can see the shaping of the dome and it kind of detracts from the vehicle a little bit. So if they can kind of smooth out the screen, that would be really nice. And then the footage isn't the crispest. So like I said, if they're able to kind of enhance that somehow, that'd be really nice. But for a second ride, I think it's still really solid attraction for the park. I'm glad they have this in here. You know, something different to do. You know, take a break from the coasters. Those that don't want to ride the coasters have something to do. Or if it rains, you can do it. And any kids of all ages can ride this attraction. So I think that's really nice. And yes, every time you exit, you got to go through the Wild Arctic exhibit. So it's pretty neat. So if you're riding it, you do get a guaranteed entry through the exhibit. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna hop in for a few more rides on this. We're gonna do it a couple more times. Why not? There's no waits during previews, so we're gonna take advantage of that. This thing will be at least an hour wait because it's gonna be very popular. I already know. I also want to mention when you scan in for your pass holder preview, make sure you bring a ID with you. They are checking identification, so I like how they're making sure you know you as a pass member. They're making sure this event is exclusive to the pass members. So really like that SeaWorld is doing that. And we're in the line for round 3. Someone said you could film a reaction. I don't think that's true though, because they're being very strict about the filming. So we're not going to film a reaction just to be safe. If you go this way, this is the separate queue for the habitat itself. we just got off our third ride. Something interesting that happened was the vehicle wasn't, the people sitting in the vehicle, we weren't spread out right, and we were kind of full on one side. So it wasn't balanced, and it caused the vehicle to have a fault. And they're still in technical rehearsal, so they're still figuring out issues with that. That is an interesting thing, and obviously, you know, operationally wise, they'll figure it out, and that'll run smooth. But I definitely like the bottom, the rows better than the top. After 3 rides, 2 in the bottom, 1 in the top. Sit in the bottom theater if possible. That's the blue Expedition. Overall, though, I think that the stuff you see during your Expedition, it's a cute ride. I think everyone will like it. I think it really is a solid addition to the park. They really needed something like this. Now, does it live up to the former Wild Arctic attraction? That is something we can talk about in just a minute. Basically, this ride system is more similar to the one at Legoland, also similar to Soarin' at Disney. If you've been on that, same ride system for the most part. But the old Wild Arctic ride used to be basically what they use at Star Tours over at Disney. Similar ride system to the old Wild Arctic. So definitely a new ride system here for this attraction. I will say I don't know how I like the use of this one. I almost prefer the other one better, but the other one had more of a story. Like, you're on an expedition, you're, you know, it just felt more of like a whole cohesive story. This one, you're just kind of sightseeing footage from the Antarctica. I wish they built a little bit more of a story. Like, the other one had narration, it told you what was going on. This one doesn't really have that, and I feel like it needs that on the attraction to be more cohesive. But overall, that's something they can always rework and add in the future. Another big thing I want to talk about is the old Wild Arctic. Back in the holiday Christmas season, they would actually do a Polar Express overlay, and I'm hoping they do that with this ride. I'm not expecting them to, but if they do that, that will be amazing, an amazing fan service to the pass holders. Because that was my favorite ride growing up here at SeaWorld, and it's just so nostalgic if they can bring that back, honestly. So I'm really hoping we can get something like that, that we are able to, you know, Polar Express, it's a really well-known property. If we can get that ride back for this ride system, that would be incredible. But yeah, looking back at footage, it's been a while since I did the original Wild Arctic. Looking back at footage, there's better transitions on that attraction, a little bit more cohesive of a storyline. So I think if they can kind of restructure that, it would be a perfect successor. It's almost there though. Like I said, it's still a very good ride, but it just needs a little bit of something extra just to put it at that extra level. The ride vehicles themselves, very comfortable, the seats, they got the buckle and all that. Really neat though. I like the actual engineering that they put into this ride system. I think it's really unique. I'm glad that we have it, but I still feel like you just can't beat the OG, you know. The OG Wild Arctic hit different, you know. I still like that they have this attraction here. I think it is a must ride on your next visit. The best part about it, it's hot in Florida. That's AC indoors. Like, definitely ride it. For sure. If you have motion sickness, maybe not. Maybe try it once, close your eyes, but I really like the little effects they have on there with the water and just different cool things about it that I think is worth, you know, riding it. I think they can actually maybe add smells and stuff, but I don't know what they would really add for that, but I know Soarin' has the iconic, you know, citrus smell, so really cool. I think this is really good as far as theming goes for the attraction, but I like that we have it here. It's cool. That's pretty much my review of the ride. We're gonna now just hang out for the rest of the night, probably ride it a few more times later. This is the last week of Seven Seas, but this event is amazing and returns every year. So if you want to see my food reviews from earlier on in the season, we have more food reviews on the channel already as well. Yeah, beautiful day at the park, not even that busy. So we're on the way to drop our camera off in the car. We're not really gonna film anything else today. We're gonna eat some food. We're going to, you know, do some rides here. But we're not gonna do any food reviews. If you want to see all that, that could be found on my channel already. We've done a lot of food reviews from this year's Seven Seas Food Festival. But we're gonna be posting a lot on our social media pages. So if you're not already following those are in the description. Now, when the video doesn't end here yet, we're gonna just drop the camera off, but At the end of the visit today, we're gonna pick it back up and do our final little review, some final thoughts I have about the attraction, and yeah, we'll pick it back up soon. Now in the car, the SeaWorld trip has come to an end today, today's visit. Got some food samples today. It was pretty busy because there was a skillet concert. Concerts during the Seven Seas Food Festival are free and included in your park admission. We ended up getting 2 more rides on Expedition Odyssey. To say the ride is growing on me, it's still a really good ride. I think a 7.5 out of 10 is very generous. A very good ranking. I would say it's pretty fair for the attraction. It's a good ride. I think it's going to be very popular, and you know, I think a lot of kids and families are going to like that ride. So I would say definitely come here, enjoy, try out the attraction. If you're a pass member, you get to ride it early, and I say come in and check it out, ride it. It's fun. It's a good ride and a really solid addition to the park. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content, make sure you guys are subscribed. Follow the social media channels in my description. All pages with the handle @EthanHersha, so that's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Thread. Also Instagram @TheOrlandoTourist. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.